We're now moving on to the academic committee this morning. Dr. Carr is not here, and so I will be chairing the committee. So, action agenda item number 6. We have a new program, Associate of Applied Science and Radiologic Technology by Arkansas State University, Newport, which is located on page 61 of the agenda book. Mr. Mason Campbell will provide background for this item.
Thank you, Chair Baker. Proposed 65 credit hour 5-semester AAS will prepare students for the American Registry of Radiologic Technology AART certification exam. Students completing this program will earn an Associate of Applied Science and Radiologic Technology, as well as the existing Certificate of Efficiency and Technical Certificate in Pre-Health Professions. Students will be admitted to the program once every 2 years. One full-time faculty member will be hired and serve as the lead instructor. Potential earnings of graduates in the area surrounding ASU Newport approximately $52,000 per year, with growing regional demand, numerous open positions. 5 similar associate programs and 3 similar bachelor programs are offered by other Arkansas public institutions. All of them are viable by AHECB standards. The program enrollment is projected to be 12 students by AY25, with 11 projected graduates by AY26, and steady growth each following year. And Dr. Tiffany Myers from ASU Newport is here to answer any questions and speak to your consideration.
Good morning. So ASU Newport proposes an Associate of Applied Science and Radiologic Technology. This program prepares students to operate imaging or radiation therapy equipment. Students will also be taught how to prepare patients for imaging studies. The workforce analysis report that was included in the packet for our region indicates a 2.4% increase over the past 5 years for this profession. Although growth for this profession may be low, vacancies are high. The 10-year forecast indicates an expected overall demand of 154 jobs in the region and 1,224 for the state. Industry partners are struggling to find radiologic technologists to fill their vacancies. In the room this morning, I have with me Mr. Andy Nicholson, who's the Executive Director of Primary Care for White River Health Systems, and Dr. Angie Smith, who's the Director of Workforce and Innovation at St. Bernard's Medical Center. They, along with our other local facility, Unity Health, have all testified to the demand for the profession and support of this program. At the time of this report, there were 11 positions available with 15 to 20 projected openings in the next 2 to 5 years, with wage projections at $22 to $25 per hour. To rectify their shortages, some healthcare facilities in our area are utilizing online out-of-state institutions or hiring travel technologists or travel techs. We believe that ASU Newport would be a better solution to help mitigate this industry need. In addition, a recent survey we did with our students who are currently in the pre-health professions track, it showed that there's a high level of interest for students in this proposed program. With ASU's mission to be, ASU Newport's mission to be, is to provide accessible education and strengthens the regional economies. So therefore we believe that providing an AAS and radiologic technology satisfies both the students' interests while meeting the industry needs. No new administrative costs will be incurred. Our Dean for Nursing and Health Professions, Dr. Stacy Kay, will have oversight of the program. We will need to hire one full-time instructor to begin the cohort program of 12 students. As enrollment increases, we pursue adding additional faculty to support the program. No additional equipment will need to be purchased. Excuse me. The program will use space and supplies currently on campus and used by other health profession programs. Students will utilize equipment at the local clinic and hospital for learning purposes. We have been assured that clinical placements for our students will be available and will not limit other programs' access to these opportunities. Plans will include utilizing grant monies for one-time lab equipment as needed for expansion. And with that, I'll entertain any questions you may have. Dr. Hay, Dr. Smith, and Mr. Nicholson are also available to answer questions.
Are the clinical spaces exclusive to the ASU Newport students?
Hi, I am Angie Smith, and I'm the Director of Workforce and Innovation at St. Bernard's Medical Center. We are a 437-bed facility that serves 26 counties in Northeast Arkansas. And my role, my department, which is the Division of Human Resources, is to ensure that we have clinical space, primarily for nursing, which tends to sometimes be our greatest challenge, but also for the radiology program. We have looked at our gap analysis for our vacancies for radiology and feel that ensuring that we have incoming students is a priority, which is why I'm here today. Our clinical slots are not exclusive to any school. We have people, my department, as well as the radiology department, that ensures there are clinical spots available for every student. And we do that by looking at things differently. For example, in the past where clinical spots for all healthcare professions have been, well, a particular school can have Monday and Wednesday and another school can have Tuesday and Thursday. We're looking at that in blocks of time rather than days of time. And that opens up accessibility in innovative ways and different ways than we've looked at before. We also ensure that we maximize our nights, evenings, and weekends, which as a healthcare facility, we're open 24/7. And we have found, particularly in that model in nursing, that students and schools are receptive to that. That gives them real world experience to understand what it's like to be in that 24/7 environment. In addition, there are some creative ways that we can bring students in as workers through student paid positions, and radiology does do that, which allows us to expand that clinical, and then through preceptorships also, where the students are working one-on-one. So from St. Bernard's standpoint, we have zero concerns about having clinical availability for Arkansas State University, Newport, or any of the other schools that send students to us.
Thank you.
For clinicals, are they going to be placed anywhere besides St. Bernard's, or is it primarily going to be through St. Bernard's?
There's 3 different facilities we're looking at, which would be St. Bernard's, White River Health Systems, and then Unity Health, which was both at Newport and Searcy.
Any other questions on this item? Do I hear a motion to recommend to the full board approval of the Associate of Applied Science and Radiologic Technology by Arkansas State University, Newport?
I so move.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you. Thank you. Action agenda item number 7. We have a new program, Associate of Applied Science and Nursing by the University of Arkansas at Fort Smith, which begins on page 7-1 of the agenda book. Mr. Campbell will provide background for this item.
Thank you, Chair Baker. The proposed 65 credit hour program consists of 15 credit hours of Gen Ed, 30 credit hours of nursing core, and 20 additional credit hours of courses that can serve as either prerequisites or co-requisites, 450 clock hours of laboratory or clinical experience. Funding for the program will come from both tuition and fees and a 3-year $936,000 Wingate Foundation grant. Current facilities will house the program, while additional resources, equipment, and supplies will be purchased with grant funding. 4 full-time master level faculty members and 3 to 4 adjunct clinical instructors will be hired. Nursing is a high demand occupation for the region and for the whole state of Arkansas, with more than 200 job openings just in the Fort Smith region. 24 Arkansas public institutions offer an Associate of Applied Science in Nursing. 4 of the 24 programs are offered at 4-year universities. 20 are offered at 2-year colleges. All are viable by ADHE standards. Program enrollment is projected to be 49 students by AY of 25, with 22 projected graduates by AY of 26, and increasing to 52 graduates by AY of 27. And Dr. Shadow Robinson is here to answer any questions from the board.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. Thank you, members of the board. So as was being shared, this is a high demand area in the Fort Smith metropolitan region, 250,000 people. Healthcare is the second largest industry has the most openings of all industries in the region. The two large hospitals of Baptist and Mercy indicate they have 150 to 200 openings today. If you ask one of the chief nursing officers what they project as growth, they will scoff in your face because they can't fill 150 to 200 openings. And then they will admit, but we probably need another 150 to 300 more in the next 5 years. They have access to the same demographic data that we use in our strategic planning, where we know in our metropolitan region that in the next 10 years, the age 65 and over population will increase by about 20%. And so it's not a surprise when I was with the School of Nursing Advisory Board on Wednesday, I told them I was coming here today to represent the program. They wished me luck, and then they said, please don't screw this up for us. So with that, I'll take any questions that I can answer as well as I can.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the partnerships with Baptist and Mercy?
Absolutely. So they have been key members of our advisory board since its formation. Chief nursing officers at both institutions are there. Actually, dean of our college serves on one of the advisory boards for one of the hospitals. The president, Jeff Carrier at Baptist, and Ryan Gehring Mercy, both brought this to us directly. We meet with them quite frequently. We bring them onto our campus probably once a semester, talk about their needs, talk about our needs. As Mercy is putting together their plans, for example, for a dedicated education unit, they're involving our faculty and our leadership and thinking through what that looks like. There's really a sense that their hospitals and our educational programs are really tied together. It's a symbiotic relationship. And if we don't meet their needs, they will struggle. And when they struggle, it's because we're not meeting their needs. And so that partnership has been very strong, and we're very connected to them at their facilities with our people out there, and then on our campus, they're out on our campus multiple times a semester.
So, and it says in here that they're going to be providing clinical space as well for you?
Yes.
For the associates, what is the average pay range for students upon graduation in these positions?
The hospitals with their current opening have those positions listed at $65,000 a year.
I was curious because I was wondering if the 150 to 250 openings had something to do with the pay that was being offered locally, because I know that travel nursing, especially in recent years, has been an issue,
Yes.
but I mean, that seems to be a good, very starting salary.
Yeah, the return on investment for students for a 2-year education, we are still the most affordable 4-year institution in the state to, in 2 years, have a position making over $60,000 a year.
So, and your faculty members, are those going to be part-time faculty members or full-time?
We will need, in addition to an executive director, once the program is fully operationalized, we'll need 4 full-time and then 2 to 3 adjuncts, depending on particular enrollments.
Because the pay on the faculty's salaries kind of struck me. Do you think you're going to be able to fill those positions?
That is a challenge for, I think, every nursing program in the state, is the question as to whether or not any of our faculty will just choose to go into the hospitals the next day. What we have been fortunate with in terms of our faculty, and certainly with the most recent hires we made as we're growing our BSN program as well, is the passion that they had for nurse education. A number of our students even indicate that they want to work in the hospital for a few years, but then come back and build that next generation. But I don't think there's a nursing program in the state that doesn't have that same fear in the back of their mind, that if someone really wanted to walk into the hospital tomorrow, that the salary is probably larger than the faculty member's salary.
Any other questions? Do I hear a motion to recommend to the full board approval of the Associate of Applied Science in Nursing by the University of Arkansas at Fort Smith?
I so move.
Thank you. The next 2 items on our agenda are information agenda items, number 8 and 9, and these are Arkansas Public Institutions, letters of notification and letters of intent. Ms. Tracy Harrell will provide background for these agenda items.
Agenda item number 8 are the letters of notification that we have received since the January board meeting. Letters of notification are reasonable and moderate extensions of existing approved certificates and degrees. They have been approved by the Commissioner of ADHE and must be included in the agenda book prior to initiation. As you can see in the summary table here, 17 Arkansas public institutions submitted letters of notification that affected 81 unique programs of study, with curriculum revisions for this time around led the way, followed closely behind with new certificates. The full comprehensive breakdown of these letters of notification are available in your board book, and although this is not a action item, I will be happy to answer any questions should you have them.
Are most of the deletions just where they're working them into other programs, or are there just some that have low enrollment rates, they're just removing altogether?
A little of all of that, and some of it has to do with the viability conversations that have been taking place the last several months. So sometimes they will realize that a program is fading out and will delete it and rebuild it.
Have there been any programs, these are all programs that you've been in full conversations with and they're not gonna feel surprised in any way? Okay.
They submitted these to us.
Any other questions? Thank you.
The next agenda item is number 9, the letters of intent that have also been received since the January meeting. These are notifications that that institutions have plans to bring new programs to you in the future. So we had 8 sent in since January. And those were from 5 different institutions. This is again not an action item, but I'll answer any questions if you have any.
Any questions? Thank you, Tracy. Moving on to action agenda item number 10. And these are the out-of-state and Arkansas private institution resolutions, which begin on page 10-1 of the agenda book. Ms. Colburn will provide background on these items.
Good morning.
Good morning.
There are 7 institutions that are requesting your approval or certification of 24 degree and certificate programs. All of these programs listed in agenda item number 10 they meet all the requirements of board policy. We do have one new institution here in Arkansas that's being established, the Alice L. Walton School of Medicine, and they are requesting your certification of their Doctor of Medicine degree program. Mason and I did a site visit in the middle of March to the building, and we spoke with members of the people who are going to be working at the School of Medicine. And they are here to address you and give you some more details.
Good morning. I'm Sharmella McKeeja. I'm the founding dean and CEO of Alice Walton School of Medicine. Bye. Come to this side. And this is Dr. O'Connor. She's our senior associate dean for academic affairs. Thank you for allowing us to come this morning to share the work that we're doing at the school. As you can see, this is the timeline for our programmatic accreditation, and we have an upcoming site visit in June. So we will be notified in the fall whether or not we can start to recruit students to matriculate the next year. The next slide. And this is our institutional accreditation timeline as well. This is a list of our current clinical affiliation agreements that we have signed. In particular, we wanted to point out that we have a very strong relationship with UAMS. and, and went to the point of actually having an MOU to make sure we aligned with those areas that we would overlap with and would not compete with. So we're happy to answer any other questions that you may have.
So is construction still going on with the school right now?
Yes, we're at 52%. So we plan on opening by next May.
Yes. I know that's one that I would love a site visit of that. I would think that would be really interesting.
We would love to have you. Love to have all of you come visit.
Any questions on this? Thank you both. Do I hear a motion to recommend to the full board approval of the out-of-state and Arkansas private institutions resolutions?
So move.
Thank you. And last thing on our agenda for the academic committee are information items number 11 and 12. These are out of state and Arkansas private institution letters of notifications and intent. And Ms. Colburn will provide background information for these items.
There are 8 out-of-state and Arkansas private institutions requesting recertification or reapproval of their programs that are previously authorized by the board. And there are other changes that the out-of-state and private institutions have requested by submitting letters of notification for minor changes.
Any question on these items? Thank you. So that includes the business of the academic committee. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So
That concludes the academic and finance committee meetings this morning. At this time, we're going to take a 10-minute break before moving into the full meeting. Thank you.